Sorry guys, my computer is kind of a piece of trash, so low key. So it's doing too many things at right now, even though it really shouldn't be too much for it to handle, but apparently it is. So that's why the stream keeps crashing. Hopefully the finished product is relatively good. I'm not that worried. Sorry guys, my computer is kind of a piece of trash, so low key. So sweet, everything's working. Now we're just gonna keep this up, put this up, right, like this. Okay, but do it like this. All right, that'll work.
Are they just tapping into some sort of psychological impact in order to make us pliable? In the same way that, the elevator experiment where you have everybody face the back of the elevator, somebody walks in and they face the doors, and after a while, a lot of them become uncomfortable and turn around and face the back with everybody else for no reason. It's just compliance.
Well, you don't want those backward facers to attack you,
It would be good. But if we're back to back, I think, anyway.
Okay, so let me ask
Sure.
you a question about that. Okay, because I think this gets to the heart of some of these issues. So let's say that we can agree that throughout history and before, people were experiencing a set of transcendent emotions that can be evoked by music and dance. And
Keith Connolly says, are we all going to take shrooms during the break? Is this happening? Guys, is this happening? Maybe I'll have a puff of my marijuana. Oh, that smells good. Oh, yeah. I have Great White Shark Sativa. Oh, man, that smells good. But then I'm going to start slurring even worse. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll light it up a little bit. Open this up a little bit.
and other forms of ritual in a variety of other ways.
A minus says,
There's
give me
also
some ego death.
Profound proclivity on the part of people, for one reason or another, to attribute those to some sort of supernatural agency.
Yes.
Now, okay, so I want to separate that from another line of thinking. Okay, so let's just leave that aside. So we can think of that as a theory about the origin of religious belief. The experience comes first. It comes along with an implicit hypothesis about supernatural actors behind the scenes eliciting these experiences. Okay, that's in marked distinction to other theories of religious derivation, like Freud's theory, for example, that religion is a defense against death anxiety, or Marx's theory that religion is the opiate of the masses. Right? It's a much more biological theory, the one we're putting forward.
Sure.
Okay, and it seems to me to be a much more credible theory, even though religious movements can be harnessed for economic purposes and for purposes of manipulation and all of that, obviously.
Yeah,
so
I would think that.
I really do appreciate Jordan taking the stance, this metaphorical truth approach to God, and not falling into fundamentalism like so many other people. Like, to fundamentally claim that, the Bible is the Word of God, and it was inspired. I don't know why I always have to do a Southern accent for that. It was inspired by the Lord himself, and these divinely inspired people were the ones who wrote it all down. And Jesus is coming back. Maybe I'm already on shrooms. Okay, let's take a break, yo. Again, thank you guys so much for engaging in the chat and engaging with this live stream. Really appreciate it. Let's talk on Skype. It's me, Joveron's Gooplar. Okay, yeah, I'm going to open up my Skype, guys. For those of you who don't know, I don't have my Skype tag in the stream, but let's see. we'll have some chat while I smoke a little bit of pot during the break. Where is my I always forget where to find my damn. Oh, there it is. Yeah, just I am. What is my chat ID? I don't even know where to find that, to be honest. Where is my Skype ID? I believe I'm at Travis Pangburn 3 on Skype. Scott Lovenberg with the $32 super chat. Wow, I really appreciate it, guys. 32, enough bits to encode all visible colors. What's the current rate of American dead presidents to maple syrup or whatever they use in Canada? I'm in Minneapolis. I don't usually have to exchange currencies so far south. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. I really appreciate that. I need to fill up my water. I don't know what that calculation is, Scott Lovenberg, but seriously, I really appreciate the support. I actually had a layover in Minneapolis on the way back from New York, and I was just in the airport. But I am Travis Pangburn 3, I believe. I'm still trying to figure out how I can figure out what my chat ID is. Let's see, settings. Oh yeah, I am live Travis Pangburn 3. So if anyone wants to jump on Skype, have a chat with me, we can chat. I just gave you guys, if you don't know how to spell my name, Travis Pangburn 3 on Skype. I will be back in like 5 seconds. I just need to fill up my water. Maybe I'll go pee as well because I've had a lot of water. Awesome sauce. Let's take a break. Thanks, dudes. Oh, maybe I'll put on some of my music during the break here, just in the background. Why not? Why not? I think if you search Travis Pangburn on YouTube, it just does this like top tracks thing. Why not? Oh, I'm gonna have to turn this down though, because it's gonna blast your guys' ears. Let's see. Oh. Advertisements. There, we got a little bit of music. I should really be playing this on the other thing, but that's okay. And if you guys want to know what my songs are, you just have to search me. Oops. Did I do that? Sorry. I suck. Arucard, the Immortal. I'm going to fade this out. That was a very quick fade. So Arucard, let me go back. I wonder if you did this in a super chat. Montana's losing their shit. You guys are awesome. Thank you for engaging in the war of ideas, guys. Montana will have no hair. Scott Levenberg says, Travis, next time you're in Minneapolis, look me up and I'll buy you a beer. I'm seeing someone that works in the IDS Center. The lounge at the top is amazing. You can Google my name. It's unique. Cool. Sounds good, brother. Okay, I got to get to... quickly, I'm going to deal with Arucard, the Immortal. I'm going to go up to the super chat. Arucard, the Immortal says let's see if there's a different one before this. I don't think it is. They invented the word exactly because they believed in the concept. No. They did not believe in a concept. They believed in an actual literal God. The idea, not like they believed in God the person, not God as a concept or the idea of what gods are. That's what they called that entity, like Yahweh, Vishnu, Zeus. So again, you're saying the same thing that you said before.
Oh,
Let's see if I got anyone trying to get in touch with me. Yeah, if anyone wants to jump on Skype, just jump on Skype right now. I am Travis Pangburn 3 on Skype. I'll give you guys a little bit of time if someone really wants to jump on. If not, we'll just plow through. No, but see, the problem is, Immortal, is that we were talking about why the concept was created. That's what we were originally talking about, not how Jordan views it now or how some people view the concept of God now. There's still a lot of people who are still fundamentalist, and when we're talking about God, they're like, well, the only God, Jesus crashed, or Yahweh, the man with the big white beard in the sky, Sky Daddy. My Sky Daddy's gonna smite ya. Oh, okay. We're gonna have a little bit of psilocybin. No, I'm kidding. It's marijuana. The Immortal. Downloading Skype now! ! You're still misrepresenting me. I don't think I'm misrepresenting you. I'm doing an honest rating of what you're saying.
nah, you were misrepresenting me, but it was honest. I agree that it was honest.
Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of the puff. Let's see what we got. Yeah, cool. Wow, the chat revenue is up to 170 Canadian. Wow, that's amazing, guys. Thank you very much. If anyone wants to become a patron and support us on Patreon, you are so welcome to. You just go to patreon.com/Pangburn, and there's a bunch of perks and stuff you'll see there to becoming a patron, and we would be happy to have you. I think I've given you guys enough time for a break. This smells so good. Let's have a little bit here. Why am I seeing the wrong... Oh, okay, there we go. That's why this thing is too slightly high. Alright, now things are going to get really weird.
Wow, this dude is legit smoking on camera. Where do you live, bro? LOL.
Okay, that was a big hit for me. Probably gonna mess up my brain.
Sorry, I couldn't.
Hetua Kumar says, when are you going to release the full debate? Talking about D'Souza versus Dillahunty. As soon as the production team finishes editing. So it'll take a week or so. Keith Connolly says, I get what you're saying, Arucard. Travis mentioned how Jordan views it. I believe you guys agree more than you think. Arucard is giving a psychoanalysis of the underlying meaning of God. Sure, I'm happy to look at that, but Arucard was talking about why the concept was created, the reasons behind the narratives of God. Scott Levenberg says, breaking in those old wood pipes takes forever. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, it looks like we don't have anyone available for chat yet. I think we can continue with the video, and then if anyone does pop up, just send me a message if you want to chat on Skype. And again, I'm at Travis Pangburn 3. Let's continue with some video. And if you guys liked any of the music you heard, just find me on SoundCloud, Travis Pangburn. And I'm all over all social media platforms everywhere. So, rock and roll. Definitely feeling that hit of marijuana. I'm such a lightweight.
There's any number of explanations I've heard for the origins of religion, and I find almost all of them plausible in different forms, except for the one that asserts that they come directly from a supernatural being.
Well, okay, so that's the one we're gonna pursue though, because
that was funnier than I thought it was. I was just being honest.
Yeah, well, honesty is often funnier than people think it is.
Boy, don't I know.
So people can have these experiences, and they can be evoked in a variety of ways, and people often find them very valuable, at least in terms of their subjective report.
I agree.
And the psilocybin experiments, and also the large-scale analysis of psychedelic drug users, by the way, also.
Forge Not Cast, welcome to the chat, says, the atheist believes they are just another ape species. Apes are dim-witted at every level in comparison to humans. Therefore, atheists have no justification for morality, logic, ethics. Have you heard of, like, genealogy, the study of DNA, evolutionary theory? We are African apes. That's what all the evidence points to. That's what all the models, when we put the evidence of reality into the scientific system and build the models, that's what the models say, that we are all African apes. Just because apes seem dim-witted to you at every level in comparison to humans, but wait a second, like apes are generally a lot stronger than oh, I guess he said dim-witted. That's okay. Are dim-witted. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll grant that. Arucard the Immortal says, are you intentionally... Okay, let's see. The latest super chat is, true things and false things are equally concepts. Yes, that's true. Go back and try harder. No, it's... Yes, true things and false things are equally concepts. You need to be much more clear in delivering what you are trying to claim, because the frustration isn't like your frustration in the interpreter isn't getting you anywhere. You need to be more clear and concise with what you are claiming. Your claim is muddy. Like, go up to the super chat, read it again. Your claim is Deepak Chopra-ish. You need to clear it up,
Fuck you.
be very clear and precise what you're claiming, and demonstrate your claim. That's all you have to do.
I did that already.
You don't
I
have
did
to
that
write
the
another
first time.
super chat, but
Did that the first time.
my T-shirt says Ben Shapiro likes infant genital cutting, and it's just a true statement of Ben Shapiro's position when it comes to infant genital cutting. He likes it. Someone's going to clip that for sure. I hope they do. Let's see what else we got here. My brain's definitely going to slow down because the pod is taking its toll, man. Okay, let's watch some more vid.
So indicate that the use of
This is
such
probably gonna take
substances is generally
3 vids.
associated with an increment in health rather than a decrement, which is quite interesting, right? It's not something you'd necessarily expect. So here's a question. Why in the world do the people who have these experiences have the proclivity to attribute them to supernatural sources, like to a divine source? Like what's going on there? Why is that the case?
So best guess, and this is contrary. So the skepticism isn't about, hey, let's debunk this and come up with. But if we were going to go through potential plausible explanations, to me this is very similar to in the 40s and 50s when people were supposedly abducted by aliens or ran into aliens. They had descriptions of aliens that pretty much were varied and often matched the various monsters that you saw in the movies then. After 2001, or after Close Encounters of the Third Kind, almost all descriptions of aliens became the almond-headed this. The narrative in the culture about what an alien was diverged, and people were, oh, this is what I experienced. In the same way that people will, sometimes cameras will catch orbs, or a particular lighting effect in a house that is supposedly haunted will be perceived as a spiritual, humanoid form. When we, in some cases, can show that that's actually not the case. In other cases, we have no idea what they necessarily saw. Because what people understand about spirits and souls and ghosts is in like the zeitgeist of how we think. It enters the consciousness as a plausible explanation, even if ultimately there's no such thing as ghosts.
But that explains why they converge, but it doesn't explain why the initial impetus is the attribution of the experiences to something supernatural, like something.
I'm sure that I'm not convinced that necessarily that the natural instinct is to apply it to something supernatural. I think it may be more the case that not only are we pattern recognition machines, but we're the descendants of people who, how you see faces and everything.
Yeah, that's a good hypothesis. That's the
And so you see faces, or you anticipate that there's something in the bush out to get you, and when you go and actually investigate, you find there's nothing in the bush out to get you. Rather than assuming that you might have been mistaken, maybe it's a spirit.
Yeah, the social psychologists call that the hyperactive agency detector.
And the fact that we can be, before we had a good understanding, we still don't have a good understanding of death and the mind and stuff. But if I'm standing here talking to you and I drop over dead, there's a clear, undeniable difference in me sitting here as an animated being and me laying there as no longer there. And so it seems a natural inference that something that about me has left. That doesn't mean that there's actually something about me, like a soul or whatever, that's left.
All right, we got our first caller. We're going to have Jordan Vargas on the air. Jordan, whenever you're ready, just do a voice call through Skype.
Oh, Travis Pangburn followed me. That's beautiful.
Thank you guys for engaging in the chat. I'm going to have a quick conversation here with Jordan Vargas, who's going to be calling in.
Thank you, Travis. I appreciate you.
Hey, Jordan. Jordan, you there?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Pangburn live chat.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what do you want to chat about?
Well, are you, well, first things first, I'm watching the stream and I hear you on here. Should I,
Yeah, I guess
stream
kill the stream if you can. That would be great.
I was going to say, I mean, it'd be cool to talk about the debate as we go through it, maybe, or?
Yeah, I mean, is there anything specific that you wanted to touch on, like, that we've already seen so far?
I just got here, like 10 minutes before the break, so.
Oh, okay. What do you? How do you think in general? Have you seen this debate yet?
Yeah, I've listened to it twice, and I still feel like I need to watch it again.
Yeah. What? How do you think the night went in general for Jordan?
You know, he made a good point at first when he was talking about, you know, like the celebrity atheist types tend to attack religion from, like, in the sense of attacking, like, the fundamentalist aspect of it, but they don't contend with stuff that's, like, I guess, well, they don't contend with, like, the stuff that he's talking about. They tend to, like, you know, try and reduce it to that fundamentalist type of religion.
I just want to be very clear. I respect Travis Pangburn as a person and as a philosopher. I just have some disagreements with him. That's all. The more the merrier.
Just religious, you know, beliefs or whatever.
Right. So you think that was a solid point. My main contention with this is that if a fundamentalist is going to make the claim that, you know, well, my God exists all around us, or my God exists outside of space-time, or whatever, and if they make a fundamentalist claim like that, it's like, well, then they're making a claim about, okay, if you're going to claim something exists, we should be able to test this. And how do we test things? We use the scientific method, right? So isn't it the fundamentalist who's taking that conversation in that direction?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I'm just saying that they, like, a lot of atheists tend to, like, I don't know if conflate is the right word here, but, like, they confuse Jordan Peterson's message with that, like, fundamental.
I agree.
Like a real God, or, you know, because he even straight up says, like, you can strip it of its what do you call it, of the metaphysical substrate, you know,
right.
And there's still, like, Matt Dillahunty is still saying, like, you know, you're not, I haven't heard any evidence about the existence of God coming from you, even though that's not what Jordan is actually trying to do. So.
Yeah, so I think Matt, you know, it's true that Matt did claim, like, you know, this is my general position when it comes to God. I think a lot of atheists are used to, or at least a lot of skeptics are used to hearing claims of, you know, not the claims that Jordan are making, is that this metaphor is like exists in its own version of truth, like metaphorical truth, because it's like, I think almost every atheist agrees that that metaphor exists. It's just how important it is something that is often debated. But I don't think these what Jordan would call celebrity atheists are dodging dealing with what he's talking about necessarily. I think a lot of atheists have talked about how they respect and enjoy certain cultural aspects of some religions, and some of the claims that are made are just bogus nonsense, but some of the claims are interesting from a narrative perspective.
Yeah, and I think Sam Harris made a good point too, where it's like, well, like, so I was talking about how atheists misinterpret his message, but I think Christians do too, and they're missing the fact that he's not in support of, like, a literal God, but they think that, you know, they automatically hear, like, positive message about the Bible, so they automatically associate that with like all of the stuff that comes with it in their minds.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe that's something that I think Jordan Peterson should address a little bit more, just to deal with the confusion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Jordan. I talk about this lots, where Jordan is a thought pretzel thinker. He's not like an authored thinker like guys like Hitchens and Sam Harris, or even like a guy like on the Christian fundamentalist side, like William Lane Craig. It's like these guys are authored speakers. They speak in a way that's really easy to understand and follow. But when you get a person like Jordan, who's a thought pretzel thinker, it can be really hard to follow exactly what he is meaning and exactly what he's getting to. So that tends to not translate well to audiences, and a lot of people who don't spend a lot of time listening to Jordan and a lot of time kind of dissecting what his thought pretzels are doing, they will see clips of him and be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like that's a common reaction. But it's true that you have to, spend some time and really focus when listening to Jordan and interpreting the pretzels, because if you just catch a piece of the pretzel, it's not going to seem like a complete thought. And there's a lot of highly intelligent thinkers in human history that have been thought pretzel thinkers, like Jordan, but they tend to be harder to understand, I think.
That and it's like, because what he's talking about is something that we kind of, to some degree, we kind of understand it intuitively if we do understand it, and so in order to like translate it into verbal language kind of doesn't do it justice if you're like omitting details or just looking to kind of summarize it. It just doesn't necessarily get the job done, kind of in the same way of like trying to understand a dream.
Yeah, I mean, I think with that is we even if the idea that Jordan is talking about can be simplified and delivered in a simple way, I think this concept of God is actually a lot more simple than a lot of thinkers like Jordan tend to. I think they tend to overcomplicate some aspects of the importance of the God concept psychologically in human beings, because I think we have a lot of godless people who get along just fine, and I would go as far to say that in developed worlds, a lot of these people who still claim to be of a religious faith of some kind really aren't fundamentally, but they are more of a cultural Christian or a cultural Jew. Yeah. Anyways, I really appreciate the call. I'm going to let you go for now and get back to some video, and hopefully next time you'll call in again.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. It's cool
Thanks
to talk to you.
Yep, thanks.
Peace.
That was Jordan Vargas, everybody. Thank you so much for the call, and thank you guys for being patient. I'll start slurring my words a little more. Again, that's what pot does to the brain. This is awesome, guys. We'll do about another half hour. Looks like you guys are engaging in some awesome chat here. Right on. We got the Immortal that wants to call in. So let's here. Let me open up Skype. It's Travis Pangburn 3 on Skype. So we'll take one more call. Jordan Vargas says, "Damn, I was nervous as fuck." It's all good, man. That was good. We had a good exchange there. So we're waiting for the famous, the infamous super chat extraordinaire of tonight's extravaganza. What am I talking about? Arukard, the Immortal, is going to be calling in. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. You guys are really, really digging deep here. Nathan Sanders says this is the worst Peterson has looked in a public debate LOL. Intellectually speaking, yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think Matt pins Jordan and wears him out at certain points in this debate. I don't think we haven't really got to that point in the video yet in this live stream, but yeah, I think it was one of these outings that people see what happens when Jordan comes face to face with a very astute skeptic like Matt Dillahunty, and Matt really is I think Matt really outlines some things like, by the end of this, that okay, Jordan, we understand that you find these things valuable, but it's like you it that doesn't mean that they're necessarily imperative for a human to live a fruitful life. And I think that's just basically the essence of what Matt is saying. Travis Pangburn 3 live on Skype. And if you can't find me, I don't know why. You should see the Pangburn logo. Great work in the chat. If you guys are seeing this not live, make sure you check out the chat. There's some really interesting conversations happening. Anselm Zaraxis and Montana Hoviter are engaging. Into Dionysus says, let's bring in David Silverman and get his viewpoint. I don't know what David is doing right now. Seems to be all over the map. I had to unlock this one. Hey Neezy, says Travis, go fuck yourself. Yeah. Hey Neezy. So cool. Where's all the vitriol come from there, brother? All right, let's continue with the video. I don't know where our immortal friend is, but can't seem to find me. Hain Easy, you withheld the Harris-Peterson debate for so fucking long. Are you seriously that much of a, like, that out of tune with the business of producing live content that eventually becomes free to the world? Are you literally that out of tune with reality? Like, you just expect that people will spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars risking so much, risking everything essentially, and creating this content, and it wasn't released quite quick enough to your liking, and that's how you justify Travis, go fuck yourself? Are you seriously, are you like the biggest idiot on the planet? Like, maybe you're trolling, maybe you don't actually believe that, I hope you don't, but you just sound like one of these people with their hands out saying everything should be nobody else would have withheld it, you fucking moron. Why don't you go produce your own live event? Yeah, it was over a month. It was actually released. You could have paid like a very small amount of money and viewed it on Patreon. So why didn't you? You just wanted it for free instantly, right? That's not the way the world works. It just isn't. Venturing into the brine says, "Are you quit?" Quit being dense, Travis. Okay, so we got some trolls in here. Overreacting as usual? How is that an overreaction? This person starts off with, Travis, go fuck yourself. How is what I said an overreaction? Yeah, Arucard, the Immortal, just post your Skype name here, and I'll see if I can find you. Hey, Easy says you're antithetical to what you prefer, what you pretend to champion. Oh, okay. Yeah, this guy's a fucking troll. Nathan Sanders says Hennessy, well, he released the fucking shit for free. That is the best way to get shit spread far and wide. Yeah, and you know the translations were all free, and you know it's like I try to make the stuff available. The thing about that project is that project was just epic. We had at that time we had to recruit some money through Patreon for that project. Okay, let's see if I can find our friend here. Okay, I said hi to all of the Christopher Zamonska Blakes on Skype. So if this doesn't work, we'll just carry on. Arucard the Immortal says, yeah. So I've sent you a hello there. If you haven't got it at this point, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I'll leave my Skype open. Let's watch a little more video.
Restarting my phone because it is a piece of junk. To be fair, most fucking technological devices can't keep up with what I need from them. But also, it is a piece of junk. I mean, a fucking better one. Someone sponsor me. Just saying. It's worth your money. Free advertisement, you see? Yeah, obviously not free, but you know what I mean. Advertisement, that is, not free advertisement. Anywho, back to YouTube. LOL. Someone's triggered. Someone's so triggered. Anywho.
The world works. It just isn't. Venturing into the brine says, "Are you? Quit being dense, Travis." Okay, so we got some trolls in here. Overreacting as usual? How is that an overreaction? This person starts off with, "Travis, go fuck yourself." How is what I said an overreaction? Yeah, Aru, Arucard, the Immortal, just post your Skype name here, and I'll see if I can find you. Hey, Easy says you're antithetical to what you prefer, what you pretend to champion. Oh, okay.
No fucking way. He got the live chat up. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He got the fucking live chat up. Hell yeah, bro. Yes. I need to know how to do that. Fuck.
Nathan Sanders says, Hennessy, well, he released the fucking shit for free. That is the best way to get shit spread far and wide. Yeah, and, the translations were all free, and, it's like, I try to make the stuff available. The thing about that project is that project was just epic. We had at that time, we had to recruit some money through Patreon for that project. Okay, let's see if I can find our friend here.
Dude, I'm gonna be able to read the live chat.
Okay,
Oh,
I
fuck
said
yeah.
hi to all of the Christopher Zamonska Blakes on Skype. So if this doesn't work, we'll just carry on. Arucard the Immortal says, yeah. So I've sent you a hello there. If you haven't got it at this point, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I'll leave my Skype open. Let's watch a little more video.
Isn't in my living room, so there's at least some external source sending it
Right,
there.
but that's exactly my point.
Yeah, that's all I was doing.
You make the case that consciousness is exactly in the head.
So why would I think consciousness is where?
Well, how do you account for consciousness?
Well, I'm not sure that we can account for consciousness.
This is definitely true.
But
See, and
I
that's
have
another
no
real.
reason to think
Well, that's
that it's
another.
beyond what the brain produces. The fact that something's mysterious doesn't mean that. Well,
Consciousness
something's mysterious.
Consciousness isn't just mysterious. It's like really mysterious. It's the most mysterious thing.
Okay, well,
right? It's not like ordinary mysterious.
The fact that something is really mysterious to the point where I think you and I would agree that we don't have an explanation for it. Okay? If there was something like that, say that to make consciousness, we don't have an explanation, or at least a complete one for consciousness,
or even a partial.
Oh, sorry guys.
So,
It seems vaguely
so
associated
consciousness
with
is
the brain.
That was my fault.
really mysterious, and you and I have no explanation for it. As human beings, we're uncomfortable with saying "I don't know." This is something I'm trying to teach people to become more comfortable with, is to say "I don't know." And so, when you ask me about consciousness, my answer is I don't know. But for other people, they're so uncomfortable with "I don't know" that they posit an explanation that they cannot justify, something is untestable and unfalsifiable, and that is that there's a ghost in the machine. I can't make that leap because it is entirely speculation without support. It seems intuitively right because of how we view the world. And yet, I would rather say, I don't know, and then continue to explore it, because I worry that by asserting what the explanation is, you stop looking for it.
Jordan Vargas says at the Pangburn, consciousness could be a product of brain function, or it could be some external magical thing that uses the brain as a vessel. Well, I mean, to say what's possible isn't really interesting to me. I'm more interested in what's plausible. And what's plausible is we see, millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of calculations happening in the brain, and it seems to be the engine that is generating this idea of what we call consciousness, awareness, which I think is actually a very bad term, and it's something I'm looking to replace with something I'm proposing in my new book. But yeah, I mean, it could be so many different. There could be a little alien in my head. Working me with controls, right? And it's just every time we actually look in there, we don't see an alien. We see like brain matter. Okay, ain't easy. You had a good run. Now you're blocked.
LOL.
I'm just reading some of your comments here, guys.
Destroying me? You wish. You wish, Ross.
Aricard the Immortal says, LOL, Travis is high. I'm feeling a little bit high for sure after my one puff. Nathan Sanders says, Jordan, I have my own idea of what consciousness is. I think people overthink what consciousness could possibly be. I agree with that, definitely. What else we got? Jordan Vargas says, I think we don't understand enough about consciousness to confidently say that it's a product of brain function, in my opinion. It makes sense to some degree, but not fully. Yeah, but that not fully doesn't mean that it's outside the brain. That gap doesn't mean it's outside the brain. What we do know is that the brain is functioning and creating thoughts and ideas, right, and memories, and we're like we know a lot. A fair
Coward
amount
just
about
kicked
the brain,
me from the
but
chat.
there are some functions of it.
Kick Blake from the chat. He's being too
mysterious.
provocative. He's winning too
But
hard.
that doesn't mean that we have any reason to believe that anything is going on outside the brain. We have reasons to believe that this is a function of the brain that we don't quite understand, because all of our functions that make us human are filtering through the brain and are being processed in the brain. So into Dionysus says, the precipice of perception cannot always be clear is called consciousness. You've smoked more pot than I have today. Jordan says, goes on to say, I'm not claiming that being unsure means it comes from outside the brain. I'm saying we aren't sure, but people talk about it as if it's already fact, and it's not quite there yet. Yeah, I mean, consciousness hasn't really met any of its burden of proof or claim. I agree with that, and that's what I'm trying to sort out in my new book. Like, I think the pleasure drive that I'm proposing is the thing that actually decides what we are conscious of or what we are aware of. We're only aware of the pleasure pursuits, essentially. I think this idea of general
trust me, bro, we're aware of pain independently of pleasure.
What's going on. Zane Brunt, thanks for the comment, says, I'm not really sure I even know what consciousness is supposed to be. It often feels like it's one of them magic words. Yeah, I agree. It's a magic word placeholder thing that we just, the origins of consciousness are very mysterious, but I think my pleasure drive explanation, which I'll just do like a live stream on that at some point. Let's see. We might finally get Immortal on the air. Venturing into the brine says, no, Travis, don't lie. What did I lie about? Don't lie to yourself and us. You're an atheist. Yeah, I'm an atheist. You're going to take an atheistic viewpoint. What exactly is an atheistic viewpoint? Atheism is simply just the lack of belief in gods due to the lack of evidence by the claim makers. That's all atheism is. Let's see if I can actually find our friend. I can't find you, Immortal. Not working. Not working. Too bad. Your mind is already made up? Your mind has already been made up? No, that's not true. Atheism is just a response to a claim that hasn't met its burden of proof, claims of God's existence. That's all atheism is. So if you're going to claim that a God exists or that something exists, it doesn't matter what, demonstrate it. That's the rule of skepticism. Skepticism 101. Oh, it looks like I got Christopher on. Christopher, call. You found me. You must have used that search engine. Alright, guys. Just waiting for our second caller. There we go. Alright, Christopher, we finally got you.
Yeah, it took me forever to figure it out.
Not everyone's a genius like me, I guess.
even geniuses can be crippled by their genius, right?
True, 100%. Well, what did you want to talk about today? And thank you so much for the super chats, by the way.
Oh, my pleasure. I view it as ruthless self-promotion.
Awesome. There you go.
Yeah. And you seem like a nice guy, so.
Yeah. I'm a pretty damn nice guy, I think.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, basically just called to say hi, pretty much.
Yep.
And also, you don't seem to understand my definition of God.
Right. Let's have it.
What was your objection to it again?
Well, why don't you just in case people didn't see your claim, why don't you make your claim?
Sure.
And then let's deal with it.
So I said something like, God is the word that humans invented to describe what they imagine to be physical and mental perfection. So, in other words, what they think of as being God, even if they truly believe in it, is in reality sort of just an algorithmic extrapolation of their maximum potential. What that would be like if it was realized in reality.
So this may be the case for Judeo-Christianity, but like I don't think what you're claiming here applies to like some polytheism where we have some of the gods being very have many malfunctions, like Ares being this
LOL. Travis's live chat is so entertaining. Good job, Travi.
Word of just death and war. That really isn't the epitome of
Those gods
Mr.
are
Pangburn.
less relevant because they're exponentially easier to deal with in the first place. They didn't even try to hide the fact that they created those gods in the image of man. But that's still perfectly in line with my definition of God.
Well, they believed that those gods were real. I mean, they would sacrifice bodies to Poseidon. Right?
I don't understand how you think that's relevant to what I said.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna claim like this is this is why this term of God was created.
Jordan Vargas says, not everybody is driven by a need for perfection, though, and plenty of those people use the word God. Do you have any evidence that not everyone is driven by the need for perfection? I would counter that to the degree that everyone isn't driven by the need for perfection. People are simply nihilistic, and that's not really something that you want to have very much of.
Created. Like that's what we're talking about, right? Like
I wasn't addressing why anything. I was just trying to give a definition of a concept.
Well, yeah. So okay, you were defining it as this term that was created to describe X, but I think some of these.
But I didn't imply anything about why.
Nathan Sanders says, exist and God doesn't exist because, scientifically speaking, so far in 21st century, those are the most likely the right positions to take. That's not really coherent, Nathan. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Kevin Stewart says, stupid thought. Supernatural ceases to be super once it's a proven fact. It thus becomes part of natural law. Kevin, that sounds like it agrees with me, but I'm not sure how you meant it.
Said it was X, therefore Y.
Right, but you okay, sure. So what you just claimed, like right now in this conversation, I don't think that works with some polytheistic version of gods, because we're talking about gods in general, right? But if you're going to make a special appeal,
I view all gods as being fundamentally the same type of thing.
Well, I mean,
to a degree.
Okay, how so? Like,
Vinup Wilson says, East or West, son? People take God literally and do horrendous stuff in the name of it. Starting from indoctrination, slavery, false hope, inequality, child marriage, miracle, belief, period. LOL. Vinup, you were correct, Vinup, when you said you were in over your head in this chat. Continue.
How would you qualify that? Like I know you're trying to
to the degree that the word can be applied to all of them, they have that in common.
Right.
They have to share some fundamental aspect.
Yeah, but what would be the fundamental aspect that you think they all share? That they are a supreme, that they are a supreme being, or
yes. So my definition.
Montana Hovatter says, all caps, LOL monistic God. Not sure how you meant that, but I agree, LOL. Jordan Vargas says, when people describe God, they state several qualities that he/she/it has. Arucard is only associating his definition of God with one of those qualities. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, actually. You didn't quite make it clear, but I'm curious to know. We should talk, Jordan. Nathan Sanders. Yes, we work with the current understanding. A jury assumes innocence until proven guilty. We assume something doesn't exist until there's evidence that it does exist. That is the most logical. I think that's agreeing with me, but I can't tell how you meant it.
Definition of what it takes to be a god, or rather the difference between being a god and not being a god, is in order to be a god, this is the reason I say God is impossible by definition, because in order to be a god, you would have...
Montana Hovatter says, all caps, a god without attribute. LOL. Montana Hovatter, I still can't tell whose side you're on, but I'm enjoying you very much.
To
your presence.
Be capable of subverting the laws of physics which govern your own substance, which is physically impossible.
But how do you know that they are subverting the laws of physics?
Montana Hovatter, all caps. Substance. Like a split second after I said the word substance. How beautiful is that? Jordan Vargas says, let me get in on this, LMAO. Quite right, good sir. Hey, look, it's 4:20 a.m. How cool is that? Alright, unpause.
And that they're just not...
Into Dionysus says, God is a focus of ideas that brings energy to overpower ... even in psychology. Scrunchy face. I think I get what you're saying, or rather, I know I get what you're saying, but I think I get what you mean by what you're saying, and I will subscribe to you. Subscribed. Hey, look, you already have 105 subscribers. Well done, sir. Well done. Unpause.
Engaging with laws of physics that we just don't understand.
The laws of physics are the laws of physics. There's the...
Oh, okay. You mean the greater. Okay. Yep.
Montana Hovatter, all caps. His God only had substance. Don't know what you mean.
But okay, so...
Stuart MC says Jesus Christ did. Not sure what that means.
Your original description you were saying is that...
Motherfuckers, don't be specific.
God's... You were talking about...
Montana Hovatter, all caps. Substance, star.
God's being like some kind of idea of what human beings... would you say it's what human beings would describe as the like epitome of what we should work towards?
The epitome of our potential if it was realized into actuality.
Right. So my
Anselm Zaraxis says, if the laws of physics are the laws of physics, then that means reality is God and nothing is above its power. Ooh, hot take. Following you right now. Cancel. 1 subscriber. Hey, I just doubled your subscriber count, Anselm Zaraxis. You're welcome. Love you too.
Contention with that, especially like we can look at every single god in history and look at where this might fail. But if we're talking about like the Christian God, it's like the description, like I am much more moral than the Christian God.
What could be more desirable to the simple lizard brain of humanity than being all powerful and all knowing?
Well, depending on one's pleasure drive, perhaps having sex.
But everything.
Montana Hovatter, all caps. He is giving the God of Spinoza, except a little late. I haven't read Spinoza. I should do that. Anselm Zaraxis underwrites what Montana Hovatter says, apparently.
That is involved in leading up to having sex. requires those more basic things that I was just talking about.
What?
It's about power.
I don't think sex is about power.
That's not quite what I'm saying. Although
Okay.
sex is about power, although it's not. It isn't not about other things, but it isn't not about power.
Isn't not about power. Well, I mean, that's a weird claim. It's like, it's not about carrots either.
Anselm Zaraxis. I believe Spinoza's God was derived from Giordano Bruno. Ooh. Oh man, I'm getting so many knowledge bombs right now. Gotta read these people.
Wait. No. Sex is not about carrots, but it isn't not about power.
Sex is not about carrots, but isn't not about power. That's a weird claim. So
everything is about power. That's my point. Well, that's one of my points.
One of your points is everything is about power. What about?
Anselm Zaraxis says, "Cause Giordano Bruno believed the God principle is about something that is external and must exist." Venturing into the brine says, "For it would be a kind of idolatry to imagine that amid the prodigious polyphony of creation, divine speech should, as a rule, be discernible as just one small singular finite locution among others." Fascinating. I'm going to have to look up that quote. Venturing into the brine, you have earned a sub. Cha-ching. Upped his subscriber count by 25%. For you dummies out there, yes, that means I was his 4th subscriber. Or, you could just be high out of your mind either way. Let's see. Kevin Stewart says, "Please don't affiliate the Christian father to the Old Testament God." Don't know what you mean by that. Unpause.
Raising children.
Montana Hovatter. Not all caps anymore, thank fuck. Ooh, I will read him up soon, Anselm. Good job taking off your fucking caps lock, Montana Hovatter. By the way, I'm his only subscriber. LOL.
That's like one of the most fundamentally power-focused things that there is. That's why it's so important.
But I don't think that's power. It's like raising.
No. How do you think children are not power?
Venturing into the brine says, "Everything all at once is God's voice. At times God may speak in articulate language out of the whirlwind, and we long to hear him do so, revealing, vindicating, explaining, consoling." Good to have you around, Venturing into the brine. It's lovely to have you with us.
Well, because you're essentially
of our race to survive for another generation.
Yeah, but I guess it depends on how you're going to define power. But it just
I define everything.
Venturing into the brine says, "But even when he does not, the whirlwind itself is already God speaking." Fun times.
Very fundamentally and specifically.
Right, but if you're defining a child fundamentally, or being a parent or raising a child, it's like.
Anselm Zaraxis says, "For his belief in the pantheistic god Giordano Bruno was burned to the stake by Cardinal Bellarmine." LOL. Ross is the Cardinal Bellarmine of my life. Or maybe Nick. I'm not sure.
I don't think power is a fundamental description of that.
The reason children are so valuable to us is because...
Jordan Vargas says, "He's asserting that humans have an innate drive and desire for perfection. He could elaborate and come up with a theory for psychology, but he's not doing the greatest job justifying the claim." Anselm Zaraxis, scrunchy face. "Never you fret, my children. my Muscotachis, I shall endeavor to never stop persuading.
They represent so much power to shape our future when we get old and sick.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's just pleasurable. I think it's all pleasure. Like
Montana
I think,
Hovatter says,
and it's
"Fuck."
not the pleasure of
Love you too,
the
Montana.
pursuit of power.
That's a nonsensical statement.
Montana Hovatter says, "Anselm."
What do you mean? It's all pleasure.
Well, it's not. Our brains seem to be functioning on working towards epitomes of pleasure. Like we're moving towards being well as opposed to not being well in general when the brain is functioning properly.
Are you then overlooking the positive value of pain?
No, because that's also a pleasurable pursuit at times. Pain is part.
But that's relative.
Yes, I'm saying it. Pleasure is relative because pleasure just
Jordan Vargas says, "There are a lot of drives that we have, and he's trying to take just one of them and put it at the top." What on earth are you babbling about, Jordan? What do you mean, just one of them? That makes no sense. Which one?
Pleasure drive is essentially hardware meets environment, and some people will have in our genetics have the possibility to unlock the serial killer.
Jordan, the project of survival encapsulates all of our drives. It's the most relevant, largest common denominator in all of those things, all that shit, all that jazz.
Pleasure drive, but it won't always. The environment won't always lend it.
When you say something like
Vic
it's
Vaughn
all pleasure,
says Travis is high.
You seem to be discounting the degree to which pain can be a real
and
thing.
I am his first subscriber. I win.
In excess.
Well, no, I think it's not discounting that. It's
Call
just
me
saying
Vic
that,
Vaughn.
like when we're looking at why humans do X or why humans decide to do this or decided to do this and didn't decide to do that.
Stuart MC says at Kevin Stewart, God in the New Testament is the same as God in the Old Testament. Unpause.
We seem to be moving towards pleasurable pursuits, and those pleasurable pursuits can be pain and can be bad and can have negative effects. I'm not saying that they can't, and that across the whole spectrum can be perverted, I think, depending on.
Into Dionysus says, sex is about succumbing to each other to create something that is about what one could become. Upside down smiley face. I really am quite fond of you, Into Dionysus. You're a cool person, as far as I can tell. Jordan Vargas says, seeking pleasure versus avoiding discomfort, anxiety. I don't know what you mean by that. Kevin Stewart says, Jesus is the exact image of the Father and is the same yesterday, today, and forever at Stewart MC. Carry on, gentlemen.
Environment meets hardware. But
Wait. We've drifted kind of far afield from the original discussion, and I don't think we've resolved our initial contention. Right.
Well, so you have a claim of, why you think the God term was created.
Wait, no. I specifically said I wasn't talking about why.
Well, say your claim again, because there is a why in there. Why there is a why?
No, it implies a why.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
It itself is only a definition.
Stuart MC says, at Kevin Stewart, amen. Ansel Insurrexis says utilitarianism is immoral. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I'm just getting at, like, I'm just trying to get a clear sense of the direct claim that you're making. So, what's your claim?
Oh, my claim is merely that I think
Anselm Zaraxis says, it's not objective, it is subjective and inherently fallacious. Not sure who he's talking to.
the at least the best definition that I've thought of so far for God is that it's an artificial.
Montana Hovatter, all caps, say your claim, son.
The word, at least, is an artificial human invention that we created for the purpose of describing the concept, which is how we imagine ourselves to be if we were perfect.
Yeah.
Venturing into the brine says, the pleasure thereof is pointless. Pleasure is not pointless. I disagree with you. Anselm Zaraxis says, sex is rational brine. Unpause.
And I think that's way more advanced thinking of this concept than what's actually going on. It's essentially just using our imaginations to think of.
I'm only trying to address the concept because I think it's the fundamental concept.
Montana Hovatter says, damn, Anselm.
That underpins the disagreement that the two people who are debating on your stream are having.
Right. Well, I mean, I think at some points Matt wants to steer this a little bit.
Q-S says, if no, then the point of the relationship is pleasure. Stuart MC says, yes, when Christ returns, there will be wrath. Montana Hovatter says, I like you a whole lot. Not sure who he's talking to.
To why he objects to fundamentalism and the fundamentalist claims. But also, like, I think...
Venturing into the brine says, lust is irrational, strong sexual desire. Lust is not irrational. It just can be situationally, but it's not fundamentally irrational. Montana Hovatter says, Anselm.
Kind of like what happened with Sam Harris is that there is this necessity that Sam and Matt feel to point out that you aren't being...
Montana Hovatter says, I almost want to fist fight you out of beauty. LOL, I don't know who he's talking to. I assume Anselm. Anselm Zaraxis says, haha, I like you too, Montana. Anselm Zaraxis says, ha ha ha.
Very clear to the fundamentalists that you are not in their camp. And I think that is a huge...
Yeah, both people are massively failing in terms of communication, for sure.
Yeah.
Anselm Zaraxis says, love is rational.
Well, but I think it's a difficult topic when someone's going to start talking about truth outside of what truth actually is, like proposing new versions of truth, like metaphor.
Montana Hovatter says, I love you and hate you. That's an enlightened take. Kevin Stewart says, at Stewart MC, why would you think that wrath will come from Jesus? Anselm Zaraxis says, it is logical and purposeful desire to build. It is illogical and purposeful desire to build.
Oracle truth into a conversation that this just didn't... This as, or at least in modern versions of this conversation, this concept of metaphorical belief, truth of the existence of God. Like if Jordan says, I act as though God exists, he's meaning this metaphorically, but people are taking what he's claiming to mean the fundamental existence of a God, the way we know.
Anselm Zaraxis says that is purely rational.
That's colloquially.
That's why I think my definition is useful, because by my definition of God, it's totally rational for me to say that.
Anselm Zaraxis says reciprocal trade and virtue.
Jordan says that I live as though a God exists, because by my definition of God, God is not real.
Right. So if you're as long as the problem.
Montana Hovatter says, LOL, yes, well, let's rational support one another.
The problem is colloquially, well, I've smoked some pot. Colloquially, we understand God to not mean what you are talking about. Even though you're going to define it that way, that's fine. But
Kevin Stewart says at Stewart MC, but not the God of this world. Stewart MC says at Kevin Stewart, why aren't you baptized? Anselm Zaraxis says, well, by definition, you have to be rational to support someone else.
there needs to be levels of clarification in that. I think for people.
That's why I'm on this stream right now promoting the message so that more people can understand it.
Yeah, well, I think it's good.
Anselm Zaraxis says, if someone is hurting you and you are benefiting them.
As long as it's clear.
Jordan Vargas says, it's just interesting that people have a subjective experience or subjective, quote, truth in common, but we're not exactly able to consider it objective truth. Anselm Zaraxis says, that is irrational. Not sure what he means.
That we're talking about meaningful metaphor and we're not talking about, fundamentalism. Because you obviously don't want to be lumped in with the fundamentalist, ridiculous dogmatic.
Montana Hovatter says, it isn't a reciprocal trade if your intelligence is higher than mine. Good observation, Montana. Jason Summers says, you can't live by a god you don't think exists. LOL. Stupid comment, but I'll still sub to you. I'm your 5th subscriber. You're welcome.
Like bull crap that's in the Bible, right?
Well, what do you mean lumped in?
Well, you don't want to. When you say I believe, when you say I believe, just one sec. When you say I believe in God or
Anselm Zaraxis says, no, building and supporting is an objective standard that is conducted by subjective beings.
And this is what I mean by God, and you describe the Christian God. You don't want to be lumped in with the anti-homosexual rhetoric of that doctrine.
I'm sorry, but
Q-S says, how agreeable are they? Into Dionysus says, what is life without a god? ... This is the understanding of organisms and science that one must see to survive. Eyes shut, grinning face. Love you, Into Dionysus. Love you very much.
I still don't quite specifically enough understand what you mean when you say lumped in.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be in the group of people that subscribe. You don't want to be in that group of people who think that those teachings.
All of humanity as my brothers and sisters, and actually, I view every living thing as related to me to some degree, and so I do want to be lumped in.
Venturing into the brine, building and supporting, this is purely subjective.
Them to the degree that they are our fellow living, breathing people that are also.
Anselm Zaraxis says, objects that don't have a consciousness can only exist. Human beings who are intelligible and conscious can build and destroy.
Trying to survive, and just by their existence, they.
Anselm Zaraxis says, this is an objective fact.
Help me to survive, whether they want to or not.
Okay. I'm talking about the specific claims that are made in the Bible that are anti-humanism, anti-human.
Venturing into the brine says it's purely subjective.
Like slavery.
Too much of anything.
Well, yeah, any level of slavery is any level of owning another person's property is bad.
Existence, and mortality.
Anselm Zaraxis says, yeah, irrational people that don't have that in mind exist. Vic Vaughn says, yup.
Slaves us all.
Existence in mortality.
Montana.
Existence and mortality.
Oh,
Montana Hovatter says LOL.
Existence and mortality enslaves us all. I wouldn't describe it that way.
Oh, they each enslave us.
They each enslave us. I don't think it's an enslavement. We get to experience pleasure when.
Anselm Zeraxis says love is irrational and love is rational. I love you, Anselm Zeraxis.
There's a very minuscule chance that we would have ever been able to experience pleasure.
Venturing into the brine says the majority have that in mind.
You don't feel enslaved by the inevitability of your death?
No.
Why not? I do.
Yeah.
Venturing into the brine says your view is purely, all caps, subjective. Don't know who he's talking to, though.
I guess the inevitability of my death, I don't see death as an enslavement, like the ending of my life as an enslavement. I just look at it as just part of the process.
Do you then believe in an afterlife?
No, there's no evidence to suggest that anything.
Why not fear death?
Why do I not fear death? Because I understand.
Venturing into the brine says this is irrational. Not sure what he's saying is irrational, though. Anselm Zeraxis says there is an objective difference between building and destroying.
And that right. I'm just another ape on this planet.
Montana Hovatter says, well, love can have an irrational aspect as well. Obvious.
And there's been millions upon millions of apes that have lived before me, and there will be millions after me. And I just think having my fundamental worldview is about maximizing well-being. But if someone's going to ask me what is the purpose of life, if I'm to give a general statement for all of humanity, I will say pleasure. It's just to experience pleasure. And, at a certain point, I won't be able.
Apparently, Montana Hovatter tried to say, well, life can have an irrational aspect as well. Yeah, the nihilism part. But that shit is for the birds, bro. Fuck that shit.
To experience that anymore because I will be dead. So,
that's a woefully unspecific definition of what life is about.
Well, that's because life is unspecific. We can, the best...
It isn't quite that unspecific, though. It's not just about seeking pleasure.
Anselm Zeraxis says, yeah, Montana, that is a psychological aspect. Jordan Vargas says, I want to talk to this dude. Ha. I want to talk to you too, Jordan Vargas. I want to talk to you too.
Avoiding pain.
No, I didn't say seeking pleasure. It's our we don't. I'm not convinced that we have this control that people.
Montana Hovatter says, right? Oh no, he says right.
Like to say that we have any aspect of free will. It's just the processes of our neurology and the chemistry that's going on in our brain are
free will?
That we do not have any free will.
LOL.
Venturing into the brine says, I literally just stated it was irrational and subjective. Q-S says, some rumor that the president of South Korea is not entirely within her own interest because she behaves on behalf of the necromancer Christian who advises her. LOL. LOL, Q-S. Have I subbed to you yet, Q-S? Not yet. And I'm your second subscriber? That's awesome. Let's go, Q-S.
LOL.
We absolutely do have free will.
Venturing into the brine says, LOL.
Demonstrate it.
Hey.
If you're going to make that claim.
We aren't as free as we imagine ourselves to be. That does not mean that we are unfree.
Demonstrate.
Jason Summers says dopamine seeks pleasure.
Demonstrate that we can.
We are free in proportion. We are free in the same ratio to our unfreedom as our.
Anselm Zaraxis says, Brian, you are confused. Venturing into the brine says, but lust comes first. QQ-S says, does her unconscious self-sacrifice assist the Korean people?
Power is a ratio to the power of the universe.
So you can demonstrate that we have free will.
Absolutely, I can. Just like you
Venturing into the brine says, explain.
can demonstrate that we don't.
Well, I would say I hold the. I'm saying we don't from like the position of we almost certainly don't.
Anselm Zaraxis says, yeah, so when my father dies and I cry over him because I love him, I also sexually lusted over him? LOL.
No,
But the burden of proof.
We mostly don't, but partially do.
Okay, but if you're going to claim it,
Anselm Zaraxis says, no, Brian, that is not how love works.
we partially do. See, you're adding a positive claim into the conversation. What I'm saying is that the default position is knowing nothing, right?
No.
No, wait. Just bear with me for.
I am a Gnostic.
Just bear with me for a second, though.
Venturing into the brine says, that is not what I was talking about. I was explaining individually. LOL. Ulbelk says, who is this dumbass? LOL. Ulbelk. Even though you insulted me, I'm going to subscribe to your YouTube channel. I am your 16th subscriber. You're welcome.
When you're born, you don't have knowledge, right?
Correct.
What do you think? You think you're born with knowledge?
Absolutely. You're programmed with reams of it.
You're programmed with reams of knowledge when you're born?
Well, no, when you gestate.
Anselm Zaraxis says, yes, and I individually can love someone but not lust over them at the same time. Venturing into the brine says, it's a construct that you mourn him when he dies.
When you gestate?
Anselm Zaraxis says, you can lust over someone and not love them also.
Define it.
Anselm Zaraxis, I disagree with you. You cannot lust over someone without loving them, to some degree. But it's still love, even if it's a small amount, even if it's only lust. It's just maybe not that impressive of a love, you see.
Boom, you are programmed with all of the knowledge that is inherent in your genetic code. And
that's not knowledge. That's not knowledge.
Yeah, it translates into knowledge in the process of creating your brain inside a womb.
Venturing into the brine says, if some random individual were to die, you wouldn't be as mournful.
Yes, actually it does.
Knowledge is...
Anselm Zaraxis says, Brian, you are confused. Jason Summers says, epigenetic data is a form of knowledge. Hell yeah, Jason Summers. Fuck yeah. Welcome to Team Arucard the Immortal.
True justified belief, brother.
Yeah, you come...
Venturing into the brine says, this is subjective.
With a few of those to start, yeah.
We don't...
Venturing into the brine says, again.
If you're going to claim that, you have to demonstrate it, because as far as we know...
Venturing into the brine says, irrational. Jordan Vargas says, define knowledge. Anselm Zaraxis says, yes, exactly, because I didn't decide to build anything with a random person.
Oh, babies are not born with knowledge.
Zane Brunt says, I haven't been so sure of my free will since I listened to Sam Harris talking about how the presence or lack of certain molecules in our brain can influence choice. Zane Brunt, that's an unenlightened take, but I'm going to subscribe to your channel. I am your first subscriber. Kalu Kalei. We're chortling in our joy, I'm sure. Venturing into the brine says, illogical.
They know pain. They feel it before they're born.
Sure, but it's not.
Wait.
That's not knowledge.
So by saying sure,
no.
Anselm Zaraxis says, Hence, my choice to build is a rational form of love.
No. I said that just because they feel pain doesn't mean they have knowledge.
Yes, it does. You're just not grappling with the definition of knowledge.
No, knowledge is true justified belief or justified true belief.
What is
So-
this nonsense you're saying?
This is epistemology 101.
Yeah, true justified belief. You're just
Anselm Zaraxis says, it would be illogical for me to cry over a random person I don't know. No, but yes. No, then yes, is the answer to that. Anselm Zaraxis says, but it is logical for me to cry over someone I do know and have built things with. Blah, blah, blah.
saying how it's true and justified and a belief.
Yeah,
How do any of those things not?
Jason Summers says, individuals develop knowledge, but genes have intelligence. I love you, Jason Summers. I fucking love you.
Apply to the experience and the knowledge of pain.
babies cannot have beliefs.
Anselm Zaraxis says, you are confused, Brian. Blah, blah, blah. Vinoop Wilson says, we are not born with knowledge. That is physiology. No, Vinoop, you're wrong.
They can believe that pain is bad. Yes, they can.
No, they can't. They don't have the function to apply what a belief is. They don't.
Babies believe.
Venturing into the brine says, mate, the majority of individuals do not engage in a relationship through rational means.
Pre-born baby, before they're born, babies believe that pleasure is good and pain
They
is
should,
bad.
though.
No, they don't believe it. Even
Ulbilk says, who is this crackpot? LOL, Ulbilk. Fuck you too, I guess.
if there is an instinctual process.
Into Dionysus. Freedom is an abstract method to conform science. Past this, it is free will moving in the vacuum of space. I would love to have you on my channel to clarify what you mean by that, Into Dionysus.
That's happening. It doesn't mean they have founded beliefs.
And can you define the boundary between an instinct and a belief?
Yes, but beliefs.
Vinoop Wilson says, sensory receptors conveying signals to brain of harmful stimuli. Whatever you mean by that. Anselm Zaraxis says, yes, they do, my friend, what is rational and attaining their goal they desire.
Are demonstrable. Like we can demonstrate what one
Instincts
believes.
are not demonstrable?
I didn't claim that.
Well, then I'm
straw man.
I asked you to define the boundary between them.
Anselm Zaraxis says, yes, they do, my friend, what is rational is attaining their goal they desire. Anselm Zaraxis says, if lust is what they desire, then that is a goal they wish to achieve.
What makes them different?
Well, the difference between, beliefs are a label we put on
Vic Vaughn
about
says,
something that someone's been convinced.
Vic Vaughn says, question mark, question mark, question mark. Venturing into the brine says, yeah, he has a point.
Stuff. You don't.
I'm assuming you're talking about me venturing into the brine, in which case, thank you very much. Jordan Vargas says, they don't believe it. It's a biological thing. LOL, Jordan. Come on my channel and talk to me about it, Jordan. I'd be happy to have you.
You don't just claim what you believe. You actually become convinced of what you believe.
Anselm Zaraxis says, if they want something greater than that, then you have love. Venturing into the brine. Agree with Travis on this. LOL. Fuck off.
So you can't convince a baby.
Anselm Zaraxis says, that requires investigating and building.
Of anything. A baby is just operating on.
Well, you seem to be claiming that in order to believe something, you have to be convinced that it is true.
Yes, you don't just choose what you believe. You become convinced. Now, if someone's to say, like, just to make it.
Why is your genetic?
Just wait a sec. If someone is just to say randomly, like, I believe that rock is Jesus.
Zane Brunt says, is this guy trolling? LOL. No, I wasn't trolling. I was just trying to have a fucking conversation. Is that a crime?
It's like there's a difference between saying that and actually someone being convinced that The Rock is Jesus.
Your instincts are merely your ancestors convincing you of things.
No.
Ulbelk says, yes, babies feel, but they have no understanding of what they are feeling.
Instincts are not what they
Venturing into the brine says, love is meaningless. LOL.
just decide. Instincts are passed through genetics, and
Vinny Wilson says, instincts fall off. They are passed on to us from evolution for survival, and these instincts fall off as we age. LMFAO. You're wrong. Unpause.
Like I said,
that evolves over millions and millions of years. But it's not like consciously being passed on. That's not the way genetics work.
You haven't demonstrated that consciousness is a necessary aspect of the terms that we're using.
I didn't make the claim that consciousness.
Well, then what is the relevance of saying it's not consciously being anything?
Well, because you were proposing that ancestors are passing this on, or you used a different term.
I didn't say they did it on purpose.
Okay.
Insulin Zeraxis says, okay, Brian. Vinny Wilson says, these are reflexes from something starting with word S.
Okay. It sounded like you were implying that they're I forget the word that you used, but you used some kind of word that it made it sound like you were implying that they were consciously doing this.
Oh, I wasn't.
Okay. Well, anyways, dude,
Montana Hovatter says, hey, Anselm. Venturing into the brine says, I was joking.
I'm going to wrap it up here, but I really appreciate your call, and I just got to get back to the chat, and I
Stuart MC says, the Holy Spirit will help you understand.
Hope you call in again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Sorry to take up so much of your time.
It was good. It was awesome, and again, I really appreciate the super chats. Thanks.
Okay. Yep, my pleasure.
Have a good one.
Good night.
Good night. That's awesome. Let's give...
I was joking. The Holy Spirit. Stuart MC says, the Holy Spirit will help you understand. Montana Hovatter says, let's have a good conversation. And Slim Zerexis says, LOL, Brian.
Or let's give our man... Oh, what was his name again? I'm trying to pull up my Skype, but...
Venturing into the brine says, man, kick at Stuart MC out. LOL. No, don't do that. That's ridiculous. Mutant Dog says, do moths believe that lights are significant? Mutant Dog, I am your first subscriber. Cheers. Belk says, this is a ridiculous fucking conversation. Instincts are not beliefs, they are chemical reactions programmed. LOL. And Slim Zeraxis says, what conversation do you want to have, Montana? LOL.
Okay, we had a good run there. Where are we at? We're at 10:15.
Venturing into the brine says, this guy is annoying. I assume he's referring to me.
Belk says, this is a ridiculous fucking conversation. Instincts are not beliefs. They are chemical reactions program.
Jordan Vargas says, at Autocard the Immortal, Skype me. Jordan Vargas, what is your Skype name?
Yeah, I mean programmed meaning by evolution. Yes, you're right. But this has been awesome, guys. I think we're going to probably end the stream there. We've been going... how long have we been going here? 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think we'll end it there, guys. I really appreciate all of the super chats.
Montana Hovatter says, in text format.
Appreciate you guys engaging in the war of ideas here. There's been some awesome stuff. Um, I love all the conversations that are going on. Please remember to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at the Pangburn. Check out thewarofIdeas.org. It's our new online publication, still in beta testing. Become a member there, hang out, post in the forum, post in the battlefield. What else? Yeah, and
Jason Summers says, but aren't everyday thoughts based on chemical reactions? God bless you, Jason Summers. God bless your soul. You should really come talk to me on my channel. That's what you should do. James Librato says, the belief is influenced by the experience. I will subscribe to your channel, Jason Librato. Or James Librato, rather. James Librato. I am your first subscriber, James Librato. Yay. Venturing into the brine, blah, blah, blah.
The Dillahunty versus D'Souza conversation will be out.
Into Dionysus says, instinct is what you feel walking along a 500-foot cliff. That's a great one.
So I hope you guys are excited for that. It's a good one. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll do another one of these watch parties next week, and I'll give you guys a bit more time.
Jason Summers says, I appreciate the stream. I appreciate you, Jason Summers. I appreciate you. Vinoop Wilson says, instincts are from schemas, whatever the fuck
So
that
you can
means.
plan to be there if you like. Again, like this stream, and I appreciate you guys a lot. And let art, as always, let art and science inspire. Thank you. Good night.
Well, that was the end of his stream, and therefore I will go ahead and end mine. I don't really have much else to say more than what I said on his stream, although I very much wish that I could have gotten to talk to him for longer, but I'm sure I will someday. I have no doubt, in fact. So, it's all good, baby.